Chapter 3 Blood in Boston. Boston, Massachusetts, in early 1770 was a tense city. Very tense. There were so many protests and gatherings that Great Britain sent hundreds of soldiers to the city to keep the peace. Instead, seeing so many soldiers in their streets only made Bostonians even angrier. In late February, a crowd gathered at the home of a British tax collector. Rather than trying to calm down the colonists, an officer came out and fired his gun at the crowd. An 11-year-old boy named Ch.3 was killed. All of Boston was shocked. Even the royal governor of Massachusetts, a man chosen by the king, was outraged. A record number of Bostonians attended the boy's funeral. The sad event was as much a political protest as a time to mourn the death of a child. Only a week after Ch.3's funeral, a Boston merchant insulted a British soldier. The soldier struck the man with his rifle. In a flash, 200 Bostonians were at the scene. Then a few more British soldiers arrived. Suddenly, the crowd began to throw sticks, stones, and snowballs at them. When one of the soldiers was hit, the others pointed their guns and began firing. 3 colonists died on the spot. One was Crispus Attucks, a sailor of African and Native American descent. Of the 8 wounded, 2 died within days. That brought the total number of colonists killed to 5. The tragic incident quickly became known as the Boston Massacre, and it fueled the colonists' hatred of the British. News of the massacre spread quickly. There were more angry protests against the British in cities across the colonies. In Boston, the royal government promised a full investigation of the murders. Even he knew that the British soldiers had gone too far. 8 British soldiers were brought to trial for the murders. It is safe to bet that they were among the most hated men in Boston. Probably many colonists hoped they would hang for their crime. But the soldiers' lawyer was determined to see that they received a fair trial. Who was their lawyer? John Adams. This may seem surprising, since John Adams was very much against the British rule. And, indeed, many Bostonians were angry with Adams for defending the British soldiers. But Adams felt that everyone deserved to be fairly represented in court, so he took the job, even after getting death threats. In the end, the jury decided that 6 of the 8 soldiers were not guilty. Only 2 soldiers were convicted of murder and executed. The trial made Adam an unpopular man in Boston. He lost a lot of clients, and his family suffered. But right up until the day he died, Adams believed he had done the right thing.